What's up, YouTube? My name is Ray Oliva.
And I'm Chris Harris, and you're watching BlanketFaced TV News by the Minute.
This is where we cover a bunch of different news topics that happened in this past week at about a minute at a time.
Most of them are terrorism today, so this will be super fun. With that being said,
let's get to it.
International.
A plane from Egypt Air was hijacked on Tuesday morning by a man named Saif El-Din Mustafa. The plane was headed from the city of Alexandria in Egypt to the city of Cairo, but instead he took it to the country of Cyprus. The people on the flight did not realize that the plane had been hijacked until they looked out of their windows and realized they were flying over the Mediterranean Sea. And Egypt is all land, so they knew something was wrong. Now, Mustafa had not taken over the controls of the plane, but instead threatened the pilots by saying he had an explosive vest on. When the plane landed in an airport in Cyprus, he began to let people off the plane slowly, by women, children, then by race, and so on and so forth, until there were only about 7 or 8 people left. Now, no terrorist organization took credit for this hijacking, mostly because it wasn't really an act of terror, and no one from those organizations did it. It kind of was an act of terror, it scared people, but no one was hurt. The bottom line is, his explosive vest was made of cell phones strapped to his chest. It turns out Mustafa was having problems with his ex-wife and hijacked the plane because he wanted to give her a letter or something. She was on the plane and he began to take it to Cyprus because that is where she is from. It's needless to say that Saif El-Din Mustafa was mentally unstable and has since been detained and arrested. My only question is, what made this sound like a good idea? Hijacking a plane because your ex-wife is on it and giving her a letter which was apparently incoherent. And it seemed like the plan was going through pretty well. He took the plane where he wanted it to go, but he didn't plan out the rest of the plan. It just doesn't make any sense.
Trump. Now, here's something that's fun to talk about. Our favorite presidential candidate. Donald Trump's campaign manager was just charged with battery. Now, you may remember this story from back on March 8th at a rally in Jupiter, Florida, where a reporter named Michelle Fields tried to ask Donald Trump a question and was quickly manhandled away by his campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski. Now, she came back with a tweet of bruises on her arms. There was an audio recording of her saying, "Wow, I've never been manhandled like that," which was met with tweets from Corey Lewandowski saying, "You're delusional. I've never met you in my life." Even Trump came out to tweet in defense of his campaign manager. And since then, this video has come about. Now look there, oh, with the grab. Oh, and she's down. Oh! Now, since this evidence broke, Mr. Lewandowski has been back to Jupiter, Florida to turn himself in and sign his own notice of appearance. While he's trying to say that's not an arrest, newsflash, a notice of appearance is an arrest. So, in case anybody out there is sticking with our show and still likes Trump, you're getting played. Absolutely getting played. If you think Trump likes women, you're getting played. If you think anybody on his team likes women, you're getting played. Now, his court date is on May 4th. So while we would all like to cross our fingers and hope for the worst for this guy, unfortunately, this battery charge would only be a misdemeanor that would result in a $1,000 fine or less in the incarceration terms, but it's not going to come out to anything grand that could get him put in prison and off the campaign trail. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments down below how you think this is going to go. Politics.
On the Democratic side, it seems as if the race is almost over, as Hillary Clinton has over 1,700 delegates as opposed to Sanders' 1,000. Or is it? See, the reality of it is that there is only a 250 delegate difference between Sanders and Clinton, but superdelegates skew this number. Even though the officials which hold the superdelegates don't actually vote until July, they are being reported right now. See, the superdelegates that we see in daily reports are only those who have come out publicly to say they were going to vote for either Hillary or Bernie. And over 200 superdelegates still haven't even made their choice public yet. But Hillary has already gained about 500 superdelegates, publicly speaking, and it seems like her numbers are way ahead of Bernie, when in reality it's a much tighter race. Now, in national polls, Bernie has been beating all of the potential Republican candidates while Hillary has not, and he's been receiving a lot of independent votes. And it seems like his campaign has realized that. His campaign has started to urge the superdelegates, who are Democratic officials who hold votes independent of the general populace, to vote for Bernie, because that's the only way that they will have a chance to see a Democrat in the White House again. But is this too late for Bernie's campaign? Well, not quite, because this is similar to the same position that Obama was in 2008. He did not hold all of the superdelegates throughout most of the election, but toward the end, a lot turned to his side. Now, as a person who really isn't sure who he's going to be voting for in November yet, this is a nice way to conjure up some votes on Bernie's side, as opposed to the circus that is the Republican primaries or the many false promises that have been given out by really all of the candidates. Also, food for thought. Doesn't the idea of superdelegates kind of undermine the general populace's vote, since the Democrats can basically just pick whoever they want in office since they're given such a large number of them? It's a little bit unfair. Domestic.
So in other semi-terrorist news, yesterday, a man named Larry R. Dawson walked into the Capitol building, stopped at a security checkpoint, took out something that appeared to be a weapon, and got shot right there by Capitol police officers. So while I will say that this is worthy of being a news story, it's also semi-terrorist in that nothing was done, and it wasn't by any terrorist organization. That being said, people were still terrorized, a woman was still affected by shrapnel and she had to be hospitalized, although it was said that her injuries were minor. Even though this was a shooting in the Capitol, police were off of lockdown in under an hour. Now, although a lot of people felt terrorized, the situation was handled excellently by Capitol Police. And yeah, again, there's not a whole lot to say about this, so go Capitol Police. Way to stop a shooting, because that's precisely what you did. So, thanks for watching this week's News by the Minute. I'm Chris Harris.
And I'm Real Leva. Please be sure to like and subscribe and share with some friends. Follow us on Twitter at BlanketFaced.
If you have any ideas for the show or for a podcast, feel free to email us at blanketfaceproductions@gmail.com.
That's all for this week. Bye.
See ya.
By the way, we learned how to hyperlink. So if you want to watch last week's News by the Minute or Mitchell's latest rant, please be sure to click here or here. I'd say 10 out of 10 for that one, but 11 out of 10 for that one. Bye.